Heather, and a very huge thank you for all the work that you and your team do. It often goes unthanked, but it never goes unnoticed. Thank you. Foreign Minister, Your Excellencies, my Lord, ladies and gentlemen, it is an absolute pleasure to be here tonight. There is so much, as has already been said, that the United Kingdom and Bahrain have in common. Our history, our values, the security interests that we share, our trade and investment, and a very common sense approach to international affairs based on a genuine sense of pragmatism, but let me call it pragmatism with values. One of the best pieces of advice I was ever given was someone gave me a t-shirt in Gibraltar. It said on it, "Follow your heart, but always take your brain with you," which I think is very good, a very good piece of advice for anyone involved in foreign affairs. And I have to say that both our countries are extraordinarily well served at the present time by the diplomatic presence in both our countries. And your ambassador, without embarrassing, I have to say, in my long time in Parliament, in my long time in British politics, I have seldom, if ever, known quite such an effective ambassador as you have at the present time. He was a master of the gentle art, the gentle nudge, of the right piece of advice at the right time, and the subliminal messages that keep you on the right track. And I've seldom come across anyone that I admired so much, as I have to say of our current UK ambassador in Bahrain, Al Long, who I know of old. He once worked for me. It's a very good relationship to have with your ambassador. And we have been sorely tested in recent times with the traumas that we have faced in the Middle East. I remember Foreign Minister and I, in fact, the last time we met was October the 7th, 2023. We were meeting to discuss the future of the Abraham Accords and what might be done, and instead we were sitting watching the pictures of the Hamas atrocities on TV. And it's been a very difficult period to manage. And when I was at the Manama Dialogue last year, and His Royal Highness gave that very remarkable address that he did, calling out as the first Arab leader the attack by Hamas on Israel, but at the same time calling for reconciliation and minimizing of violence and a road to reconciliation. It shows just what a disproportionate influence Bahrain has in the region and beyond. And that is why, at the moment, even more than before, we should value, as the United Kingdom, the relationship that we have. But the real test will be what comes next. The real test will be how we negotiate together what will be a need for peace, a phase of reconciliation, and a time for reconstruction. The Foreign Minister already tonight touched upon one great contribution that Bahrain has made to the region and beyond, which is the understanding that there is a spectrum that moves from tolerance to peaceful coexistence to mutual respect. And that is what we will have to try to encourage across the whole of the MENA region. And it's not going to be an easy task, but we already have the proof that it is possible. And Heather mentioned that I've been asked to chair the UK's Abraham Accords group. And my view, and my staff who are here tonight, our view has been that the Abraham Accords, if it had a failure, was that it was very top-down. And it's great that 200,000 Israelis have gone to Dubai. It's great that there's a great trade agreement between the UAE and Israel. But unless there is a tangible benefit on the Arab street in 10 years' time and in 20 years' time, thinking strategically, that provides first a cadre of young people who owe their prosperity and hope to the Abraham Accords, and then go on themselves to become political leaders, then it can be just another example of the many failed initiatives we've seen in the past. So I'm very delighted to announce that we are setting up and will soon launch, under the UK Abraham Accords Group, a fund to help young people in the region start up their own businesses. It will be the Abraham Accords Startup Fund. It will say that we want to bring hope and opportunity to young people, irrespective of their ethnicity, of their religion, of their nationality. It will be badged as Abraham Accords to show that there is a different way, because we've got to give those people, those young people, something to lose. Because people who've got nothing to lose will gamble with it. People who've got something to lose will be much more circumspect. And that's what we need to create. We in Britain saw some of the example of that in Northern Ireland. And if you want to deny the terrorists their recruiting territory, then expand your middle class and give people a greater prosperity to be able to move forward. And we've got to break from the bitterness, from the barren hopelessness and despair that have been too much the hallmark for young people in the region in past decades. We've got to provide hope and opportunity. And all of us need to remember that we are not passengers in our own destiny. We can actually determine what the future looks like. And as I often say, politics, whether at a local or a national or indeed an international level, is a choice, and it's a binary choice. You either shape the world around you, or you'll be shaped by the world around you. And I believe that the friendship that we have between our two countries, the values that we share, the historical understanding that we have together, are not something that's historical, gathering dust on a shelf. It is in fact a roadmap to the future, if we have the courage to follow it. The gauntlet has been thrown down to us in this generation, and the challenge that we face is an immediate one. The question is whether we have the courage to pick it up. And I hope that our shared past, but even more our shared future, will give us the courage to do it. Thank you.